Desperate to pay her mother's medical bills, a young widow decides to sell the last precious memento of her late husband, a simple silver necklace. But when the kind-hearted jewelers recognize the piece, they unravel a heartbreaking secret. Before we continue, have you subscribed yet? Hit that button for more amazing stories and tell us in the comment where you're watching from. The silence in Jasmine's small two-bedroom home was a heavy, suffocating blanket. A year had passed since Andre's accident, each day an unforgiving reminder of his absence. The rich, rolling sound of his laugh was a ghost she chased in her dreams. Her home-baking business, once a source of pride, now barely kept her head above water, and the scent of vanilla and cinnamon was just a reminder of rising ingredient costs. Her mother, Eloise, was her other anchor, and now she was fading too. The diagnosis was leukemia. The once cheerful woman was now thin and tired, her strength sapped by grueling chemotherapy. Piles of crisp medical bills mocked her from the kitchen counter. Every night after putting 2-year-old Lily to sleep, Jasmine would sit there trying to find a solution. She had applied for countless jobs, but each application vanished into a digital void. Her savings were gone, a casualty of the first month of treatment. There was nothing left to sell. She had already let go of Andre's guitar, his vintage vinyl records, and even her wedding band. She had promised herself she would never touch the one thing she had left, the one piece of him that felt a part of her own skin, the silver necklace. It was a simple chain with a single, unadorned silver heart charm. He had given it to her on their second anniversary. "It's a simple heart for a complex and beautiful woman," he had said, his eyes crinkling at the corners. The memory of his smile, the warmth of his hand as he clasped the necklace around her neck, was a well she had gone to for strength. It was the last link she felt she had to the man she loved so fiercely. Now, even that link had to be broken. With a heavy heart, Jasmine placed Lily in her stroller and headed toward the main street. The humid Baltimore air felt thick and unforgiving. She had to do this for her mother and for Lily. She bypassed the slick modern pawn shops and turned down a small side street, seeking a place that felt more human. She found it tucked between a laundromat and a bakery. Johnson's Jewelers, a small family-owned shop with a hand-painted sign. A bell tinkled pleasantly as she pushed the glass door open. Inside, the air was cool and smelled of old velvet and cleaning polish. The shop was small but immaculate. Behind the counter stood a warm, welcoming couple in their 60s. Mr. Johnson, a tall, slender man with a neat mustache, looked up from a jeweler's loop. His wife, Mrs. Johnson, with her silver hair pulled back in a bun, offered a gentle smile. "Can we help you, my dear?" Mr. Johnson asked, his voice soft and paternal. Jasmine felt the familiar prick of tears and swallowed hard. She pulled the necklace from her pocket. "I'd like to see about selling this," she said, her voice barely a whisper, placing the chain on the black velvet pad. The Johnsons' expressions changed instantly. The kindness in their eyes was replaced by a look of stunned recognition, followed by a deeper sadness. Mr. Johnson picked up the necklace, turning it over in his hand. Mrs. Johnson gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Where did you get this?" Mr. Johnson asked, his voice now a low, trembling rumble. Jasmine, confused by their reaction, looked from one face to the other. "It was a gift from my late husband," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "Andre." The name hung in the air, a final piece of the puzzle falling into place. A silent, shared glance passed between the Johnsons. Mrs. Johnson's eyes welled with tears. Mr. Johnson cleared his throat, his gaze fixed on Jasmine's face. "My dear," he began, his voice thick with emotion. "This necklace, it belonged to our daughter." To Vera, Jasmine's breath caught in her throat. She had never heard the name. Andre had never spoken of a Vera. A feeling of profound confusion and sadness washed over her. The necklace, once a simple symbol of his love for her, now felt like a key to a secret chamber of his life. The Johnsons began to speak, their words tumbling over one another in a shared recounting of a story that had been locked away in their hearts for years. Vera, their only child, had been a brilliant artist, a radiant soul who had been taken from them too soon by Before she had become too sick, she had asked her father to create a special necklace. It was a simple design, just a heart, but it was meant for her first love, a young man who had been her constant companion and had brought so much light into her short life. His name was Andre. He was heartbroken when she passed, Mrs. Johnson said, tears still streaming down her face. But Vera knew. She knew her life wasn't enough. She made him promise he would find a love like theirs again. Before she died, she gave him the necklace and told him to save it for the woman he would eventually marry, a symbol of a love that never ends. She told him to give it to her because it meant that her love and our love would forever be with him and with her. Jasmine listened, her own tears blurring the sight of the counter. It was a beautiful, tragic story, one that filled the empty spaces of her grief with something new and complex. Her Andre had loved so deeply that he had carried the memory of a love before her, a testament to his kind and generous heart. The necklace she had so desperately needed to sell was not just a symbol of their love, but a bridge connecting her to his past and to a woman she had never met, but who now felt like a kindred spirit. "We can't buy this from you," Mr. Johnson said, shaking his head. "It belongs with you." "It's part of your story now, too." Jasmine felt a crushing wave of despair. She was grateful for their kindness, but it didn't help with the bills. She had come here out of desperation, and her last hope was now gone. "My mother is sick," she said, the words a raw, unfiltered plea. "She needs chemotherapy. I don't have a job. I don't have anything left." Mrs. Johnson walked around the counter and took Jasmine's hands in her own. "Oh, my dear," she said, her voice a soothing balm. "We know. We saw it in you the moment you walked in." The same good heart we saw in Andre. Mr. Johnson reached under the counter and produced a thick, tan envelope. "Vera, she wanted to be a jeweler. She worked here with us every day, and when she passed, she left us with an endowment. She told us to use it to help people who needed it most, people like her who were fighting. She told us to find a way to honor her love for this craft, and we haven't found a better way to do that than with you." He placed the envelope in her hand. "This is for your mother's treatment. It's a gift. From our Vera to your mother." He then smiled. "And if you're looking for a job, we're looking for someone to help us here. Someone who understands what it means to put love into their work. What do you say?" Jasmine's life began to turn around that day. The money in the envelope was enough to cover the first round of her mother's medical bills and give her some breathing room. The job at Johnson's Jewelers was more than just a job. It was a new purpose. She learned the intricate art of polishing stones, the delicate work of repairing filigree, and the painstaking process of designing and creating new pieces. She found solace in the quiet hum of the workshop, in the methodical work that allowed her to use her hands and her heart to create beautiful things for other people. The Johnsons became the family she didn't realize she was missing. They would have her and Lily over for Sunday dinners, filling the house with the aroma of fried chicken and collard greens. They would tell her more stories about Vera, stories that painted a picture of a vibrant, spirited young woman, and stories that allowed Jasmine to feel a sense of connection, not only to Andre's past, but to a new, living family that had adopted her into their own. She kept the necklace, wearing it every day. It was no longer a burden, a reminder of what she had lost. Instead, it was a silent witness to a previous love, a silver thread connecting her to her husband's past, to the woman he had loved before her, and to the people who had given her a second chance at life. It was a symbol of a love that transcended time, a promise that love and kindness could find a way to protect those who deserved it. Jasmine's grief for Andre never fully went away, but it was now laced with gratitude and hope, a beautiful testament to the idea that some loves never truly end